I said in our very first video that the very first step in factoring is to pull out a common term. In this problem, when we look across, we do not see variables in every term. We do, however, see that the number 3 is the largest number that will go into all of those numbers there. So that is the number that we will pull out. When we pull out a 3, 3 goes into itself one time. So we have that x cubed left. 3 goes into 6 twice, so we have a 2x squared left. 3 goes into 27 9 times. And 3 goes into 54 18 times. So now we have a polynomial that has 4 terms in it left inside the parentheses. When we see 4 terms, our brain should automatically think, I'm going to factor by grouping. To do that, we group the first 2 terms together and the last 2 terms together. We also need to remember that we have this 3 out here that we've already pulled out, so that 3 will become part of our answer at the end. When we look at each group, we simply factor using a common term. In this one, x squared is the common term, and we have x plus 2 left. We always pull down this sign. We have a 9 in common here, so we'll pull out that 9. Negative 9 goes into negative 9 positive 1 time. So this is a positive x that's left in here. Negative 9 goes into negative 18 positive 2 times. Now these two things should always look the same if you factor by grouping. This is now a common term and we can pull that out. When we pull out x plus 2, we have x squared minus 9 left. Always check to see if you can factor further. If you have 2 terms, remember we're counting terms here. We've said that if we have 4 terms, we factor by grouping. If we have 2 terms and a plus sign, we can't factor any further. We call that prime. If we have 2 terms and a subtraction sign, we check to see if the 2 terms have square roots. X squared has a square root of x. 9 has a square root of 3. If that's the case, it is a difference of squares. So we have the square root of x squared is x. Those will go in the first blank of these 2 parentheses. The square root of 9 is 3. And we will slap a plus sign and a minus sign in there. This is how we factor always the difference of squares. If we have 2 things that have square roots, they will break down into 2 sets of parentheses with a plus and a minus in them. We still have the x plus 2, and we still have the 3 that we had way up here that we circled. So this is our final answer to this problem.